All right, we're live right now along Pike. This is near Washington here in Covington. Behind me, you can see that there is a lot of police activity, and right there, that is the building that partially collapsed less than an hour ago. Now, this is the Stephen Tool Rentals. Witnesses tell us that part of that rooftop and the sign of that building came crashing down again within the past hour. We understand that there was actually a group of school children walking by, some parents and teachers. They were out here on a field trip, and that at least four women in that group were taken to the hospital. Joining me now is a young woman by the name of what is your name again? Come on over here. Carissa Shell, stand over here for us. Now, you were actually in the area. You work at the point,
yes,
and you were able to assist one of the women that was hit by some of the falling debris. Tell us about that.
Yes, basically, when I walked up, everything had already happened, but she was laying down on the ground, and so I just went up and put my jacket on her and held her hand a little bit and talked to her to make sure she was alert.
So she was conscious, she was alert, she was talking?
Yes, she was in pain. She explained to her she was in pain. She gave another lady her phone number to call her husband, but she was alert the whole time.
And tell us about the other victims. There were another 3 people I heard that were also injured by falling debris. Do you know how badly hurt those women were?
I know that the one lady who fell by the front of the car, she was the most severely injured. And then 2 other women were hit by bricks. They were injured, but they were able to stand up and walk to get onto the gurney for the emergency vehicle.
I know that 2 of your colleagues, you all work nearby, and several of you actually pitched in to help these women. What does that say about this community?
Oh, I think this community we all try to work together. I think that it's one of the things about Covington is that the businesses are working together and trying to build each other up and do what we can for each other.
And I know that these women were with the Immaculate Heart of Mary School. There were parents and a teacher I know that was taken to the hospital. Do we know if any of the children were hurt?
No, none of the children were. They had already walked past and then it collapsed.
Okay, wow. And what can you tell us about this building?
I know it's the Stephen Tool Rental Company that they own that, but other than that, I don't know anything. Where I had walked in was like a storefront type setting.
Yeah. And it doesn't appear that anybody inside the store was hurt?
No, nobody inside was hurt.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Carissa. Obviously, still an active scene here. We're going to stay on top of this developing story for you. Actually, going to go over now to talk to the fire chief. He's about to talk to the media.
Morning.
Michelle, I'm going to have to shut this truck down.
Okay.
Down for you.
How many people were injured?
We responded here for the report of a building collapse. When we arrived, we found 4 injured adults, a few underneath the rubble. What happened is, if you look behind you here, there's a parapet wall that stood on top of that building. They were doing some roofing work up there, and the wall collapsed onto the sidewalk.
4 adults injured. How badly?
4 adults injured. We were transported 3 to the University of Cincinnati Hospital, 1 locally here to Covington. They were all conscious when we transported. That's about all I can tell you right now.
We had heard there was a group of kids walking past right around the same time, like maybe they were part of a school group. Do you have any children that were injured?
There were no children injured when this occurred. It was a field trip that was walking through, but the children are all fine, being tended to. So everybody's safe.
I don't think we want to mention the name of the school now because some of the parents and others and those who were injured, their families are being notified.
All right, Chief, what can you tell us about this building or what you know about the reason for this collapse right now?
Again, they were doing some roofing work up on the roof when the wall collapsed. We have not completely looked at the building. We'll have a structural engineer here to evaluate the building before we release it and open up the street, so we know that the building's safe.
Has the building been evacuated or any surrounding buildings?
The building is evacuated. This is all one structure that you see here. The building is evacuated. All the workers are off the roof, out of the building. Everybody's out of the area. The area is taped off. And until we evaluate the building and make sure that it is safe for people to enter the area again, it'll be closed off.
Do you believe that the roofers caused this to happen, or it just happened and they happened to be on the roof?
I think they just happened to be on the roof. It's going to be investigated, but we can't tell you exactly how it occurred at the moment.
These buildings certainly seem to be quite old. Do you have an idea of the age of these buildings? I mean, are these 50 years old, 100-year-old buildings?
Really, I couldn't tell you. I have no idea how old the building is.
The business has been here over 100 years, and we know there was a contractor working on a roof. Whether it was related to this, we have no idea at this time.
The car was just parked there, nothing to do with this? The car in front?
The car was just parked in front. That was unrelated to the work being done on the building.
And so you're the city manager here. What is the process that goes forward here for this building as they try to determine what's going on?
Well, as the chief said, first we'll determine what any structural issues with the rest of the building, make sure it can be occupied again and those buildings around it. Our immediate concern is just the people who are injured and making sure they're okay. In the meantime, our police and fire here on the scene, and we're not going to leave the area until it's secure.
Everybody was conscious and lucid of those injured?
It's my understanding they were, yes.
That is correct.
No life-threatening injuries that were obvious?
Nothing obvious.
Any critical, or just mostly serious injuries and things?
Well, we had somebody that got hit by a falling wall, so
Yeah.
I was not there evaluating people. We responded immediately. People were transported immediately from the scene to the hospital. So
Were they trapped, or did they have to be rescued, or were they just upstanding, talking?
no, they at least one of the victims was underneath the bricks there that you can see in the background, and so they were rescued, if you will.
By you guys or by passersby?
There was people here tending to them. Just like any situation, you find people who are willing to help. They were there helping, trying to do the best they could. And when we got here, we did everything that we needed to do and packaged them up and shipped them off to the hospital. So.
And looking at the damage there, I mean, there was a large sign that came down. That looks like part of what hit the car on the other side there. I mean, you're talking about some serious debris and serious weight to come down.
Yeah, absolutely. And the weight of the bricks are heavy. I can't tell you how tall the wall was, so I don't know the complete extent of it. But yeah.
And to think a group of kids walking by, I mean, this could have been way worse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But again, everybody's safe, and not to worry. The people that may have their kids down here, the kids are all being taken care of. None of them were injured. None of them were transported to the hospital.
Do you know what why were they down here in the first place?
All I know is they were on a field trip. I don't know what they were doing.
Were these teachers?
Chaperones.
The teacher we heard.
Yes.
Were the chaperones school staff people or parents, or you don't know?
I don't know.
I think it was a combination of chaperone, parents, teachers, school staff.
You can't say the school at this point.
I don't want to, just because some of the injured are related to the school and we don't want to cause any undue alarm.
So the parents haven't been notified then or told anything?
They're being
about
notified
this?
now by the school.
What happened to the kids? Where'd they go?
We have them off-site in a secure location where they're safe and being attended to by city, police, fire, and other staff and some of the school administration.
Do you know how many kids?
I'd estimate about 20 kids.
What was the nature of the field trip?
I believe they were perhaps on their way to visit Perry's Kitchen or to work there. I'm not sure, but I think it was related to Perry's Kitchen right around the corner.
How old are
Obviously,
these
you guys
kids?
will be on this scene for a while. Do you know when you'll have an update as to the status of that building and what will happen with it?
We're waiting to hear back from the engineers. It could be up to an hour and a half, 2 hours before they get here. So it's going to be a while before we know anything.
Was this a particular classroom of kids, or how old are we talking? What age?
I haven't seen the kids. All I know, it was a field trip and there was a group
So
of
we
kids.
don't know if they're high schoolers, elementary?
I couldn't tell you. No.
Do you know if it?
Middle school. It's Steffen's tool rental.
Is this building, or was it until an hour ago, still an operating business, or is it a vacant or unused business that was being fixed?
It's a thriving business.
Say, as the city manager said, this business has been here for over 100 years.
It's a thriving
It's a
business.
thriving business. And they're open all the time, operating in this building all the time.
Okay.
You know everybody's
you.
names? Spell them.
I'm sorry.
Spell names from.
Fire Chief Dan Matthew, Mathew.
Larry Klein, City Manager, Larryklein.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you all.
so much.
Thank you.
Yes, I know.
I hope I wasn't in anybody's shot when I ducked my head down.
All right, and that wraps up that interview right now with the chief and also with the city manager. Again, they're saying that at least 4 people were injured when this building partially collapsed. They're going to have inspectors come in right now to determine whether or not this building is stable, whether or not it's safe. Right now, all of these properties over here have been evacuated, again, just as a precaution. We don't know much about this building as far as how old it is or if it is stable. We do know, again, that all of these buildings are empty right now, not occupied at this point. And again, we're still we're hearing that these injuries, these women that were injured, we're talking about non-life-threatening injuries. And because the chief is not going to mention the school the children were from, we're not going to mention it either. But we're going to keep you updated on this story. We'll let you know if we hear anything else or if those inspectors come out here to take a look at this building. Back to you.